White House tonight. Thank you. For more on this, we want to welcome in our political panel tonight. We have Democratic strategist and attorney Mackenzie Joy Brennan and Andrea Kaye, a Republican strategist and host of the Andrea Kaye Show. Appreciate both of you being here. Mackenzie, why don't we start with you? As we just heard, Border Czar Tom Homan saying there are ongoing discussions about sending the National Guard to major American cities next. We hear the mayor of Chicago already vowing to fight any such order. He says this is a flagrant violation of the Constitution. You're an attorney. What is your take here?
Yeah, I mean, this is something that we have not seen done on this scale ever in the past of our country. The 10th Amendment reserves police powers to the states and protects against federal commandeering of those police powers through different mechanisms. So there's also an act called the Posse Comitatus Act that came up when we saw the ICE conflicts in LA, because oftentimes these sort of things escalate local tensions. And as we heard Mayor Pritzker or Governor Pritzker saying, these are largely manufactured crises. The crime rate in each of the cities that he's discussing is down. There's nothing new that's happened. It's just a want to control. Now, the law does limit how long federal control can exist in these situations, how long they can kind of deputize their own federal officials over National Guard troops, which are delegated to each state. That then goes to Congress to approve further use. Congress is on recess right now, so we'll see what happens after that.
Okay, so Andrea Homan also saying that the Guard is never going to leave D.C. President Trump saying he may declare a national emergency to keep federal patrols going. Do you think this is warranted?
No, absolutely. And if only the Democrats would enforce law and order instead of sowing chaos and a crime wave across this country, if they would only fight against the crime in the streets and the way they're fighting against President Trump, who's trying to stop the crime wave across this country, we'd all be safer on our streets. Look at what he's accomplished in D.C. We've got carjackings down 83%, robberies down 46%, violent crime across the board down 22%. The problem for the Democrats is President Trump is showing exactly how easy it is to bring down crime in this country. You want to talk about sowing tensions? It's been the Democrats that have tried to malign the police departments, accuse them of being racist. We've got 25% reduction in force as they across the country now for years have been defund the police. And then we've had crap across the country like no bail policies, and like here in California where Gavin Newsom said it wasn't a crime if you could go and steal up to $1,000 worth of stuff. Look, the Democrats have unleashed a crime wave across this country. President Trump has shown how easy it is with boots on the ground to solve it. Why are the Democrats not wanting to solve the crime problem?
Okay, so Mackenzie, let's bring you back in here. I want to give you a chance to respond. And also on social media, President Trump raising the possibility of adding Baltimore to the list of potential takeovers. And this is after Governor Wes Moore spoke about him on TV today. Is this making these takeovers too personal instead of just about crime?
Yeah, I mean, I think first to respond to the points about crime, the numbers simply do not back that up. Crime in each of these cities, like I said, is actually down. If you look at the numbers, it was down before this started. And the big piece of it is this isn't about supporting local police or state police. It's about a separation of powers violation potentially in the near future if he exceeds these deadlines, because it's taking federal troops and federal control and superseding what is super easily delegated in the 10th Amendment. It's one of the most direct and obvious delegations of power in the Constitution, that this is in states' control. Police power is in states' control. So there's really not a good excuse for this. And certainly anybody who wants to support local police and state police should be erring on the side of this is not the federal government's job. And when there is no triggering act, there's no emergency, there's no crisis, there's no new penny that's dropped. It really begs the question, is this the new normal in this country?
Andrea, what do you think about Wes Moore talking about Trump on TV today and now Trump adding Baltimore to this potential list?
Well, look, I think that the rhetoric coming out of Maryland has just been going against President Trump. Look, if you don't want President Trump to send in the National Guard to reduce crime in your cities across the country and to try to gaslight Americans by saying that crime rates are down across this country, it's just absolutely absurd. There is nobody in any Democrat-run city in this country that feels safe. If you don't want an abuse of power, as the Democrats are falsely accusing Trump here, if you don't want him to bring in the National Guard to restore law and order in your areas, then do your job. Mayor Bauer in DC could have gotten the crime wave under control. She didn't. And Trump is now saying, look, I got people asking me to bring this plan across the country. It's real easy for Democrat mayors and governors across the country. Secure the seats, secure your streets for your citizens across the country, and then you don't have to worry about President Trump coming in with the National Guard.
Very quickly, final word to you, Mackenzie.
Well, I'll say I live in a blue city. I live in New York City and I feel safe. So there's one.
Okay.
All right, Andrea Kaye, Mackenzie Joy Brennan, appreciate you both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.